The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them into small paragraphs. Their grouping will become known as a psalm, and together they become psalms. Let me show you our Creator's 12 commandments, listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any one of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded they bring him a sin offering. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Next, I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and the words now reveal the style of the roof for our Creator's tent for meeting with Him. Let me show you the translator's words from the preface of the 1611 King James Bible. They gave 4 reasons for themselves or others to edit the Bible's words. The red arrow at the top points to their 3rd reason to edit the text. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the Divine, to a clerk named Gregory. The next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome established the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. Did you notice the letter S in sun is capitalized? This is to give respect to the Egyptian sun god Ra. Have you seen the Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's front yard? The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. There is no such thing as nature to a truthful Christian. Our Creator created everything. By their own words, they were not seeking to know our Creator or Jesus. Not everyone has the knowledge to correct every word. I have an old Bible program that has the New American Standard Bible 1977 concordance to help find a better word. Their concordance has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. The translators removed his name, YHVH, to put in 2 titles, Lord and God. I replaced those titles using the letters Y and V as his name, for the Hebrew language does not have a J, O, or W. By using these 2 letters, I am closer to the truth than anyone using J, O, or W for his name. So why is there a single letter O in the Hebrew text 1,095 times? No proper English was used? The blue highlighted text is text that I am removing. The red highlighted words are little words that I'm adding. Gray italic words are words that I added. To respect and honor our Creator, all capital letters in purple are our Creator's words. This is Jesus' prophecy, for I am revealing the first writer's words to tell you the true truths about Jesus. As the text is revealed, you can taste the writer's style of wording. Their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. You will be watching prophecy before your eyes as I edit true truths back into their psalms. Okay, this will be Micah, and I'm going to start doing some of the prophets, the shorter books. They're easier to get through, and that way I get like to something like Ezekiel. It'll probably take me 3 weeks to do because it has like 60 chapters or something like that. So I'm going to start going through the smaller prophets, but right now I've found that Nehemiah is a scribe and Ezra is a scribe. And what I'm showing is the hidden formats that the first writers wrote. And that way you know that the text, when you see it, how beautiful it is, that will encourage you to understand that what I'm doing is revealing their first hidden formats. And that means the writers today or anyone who's editing the text today in any Bible is just not being honest with you. So what I'm going to do is, that's how I usually start, with what you see above my head. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a screen over here, and that's going to show you what I've already started to combine the books together. And this is going to start out showing you that the 4 books that I got together right now are Habakkuk, Ezra, Zechariah, and Nehemiah. Now, this text, I can see by this king's name. Whoops, I should have got that lined up. I need timelines. Timeline. To place this text to start with, I have probably the best recording of the kings. In fact, I know I have the best lineage of kings and dates. In fact, from David's rule all the way down to the very end, I have this plus or minus 2 years. And I'm thinking it's now just a minus 1 year, but that's the accuracy rate. Now, what I've done is I've changed the names to be easier to be read, because I'm entitled as a scribe. By the way, this is Jesus's prophecy, and our Creator has made me see him 8 times. So I've been doing this for a long time, and you'll see how knowledgeable I am by watching any of the videos that I do. Now, what I've done is changed his name to Hezek here, and this is under our Creator's hidden formats, what you're seeing here. Now, that's where the text says he is one king, okay? And I think the text is going to say that Micah was actually before him as well. I'm not sure, but I will have to read it, because the text, when it's revealing certain words, there's certain stories that are well told in the text that gives us hints at what times the text is actually referring to. As you've seen, if you go and look at any of the Psalms that I've done, you'll find that I picked out kings from like Jehu and Hezek. So the thing here is it's all but what's in the text itself that really lends this combining of these books that you see on the right. That you'll notice that I've got like chapters named before Ezra 1, before Ezra 2, and those are chapters I've got labeled as 1, 2, whatever, and then all of a sudden Ezra does show up. But the text that's in Ezra has to be moved before him and not claimed to him, because the text is out of context of where he was located. He was in Egypt, okay? But the other text that was in there didn't belong in Egypt. So that's what they've done, is used many pieces of the first writer's formats, and then they've distorted them to write for their own God. That's why there is so much distortion, and actually hard to read the text now as you know it. I mean, when you read the text, a lot of people have to stop and say, what is this talking about, and have to reread it several times. Well, when I get done with this will be second to our Creator's hidden formats. But right now I'm going to start describing how I do this, and I'm going to do a full book because it takes so long to get these prepared. And actually, I want to show you sometimes what it looks like going through and just chopping it up. What I'm trying to do here is try to tell the truth. And what I've done is, you've seen, I've replaced all the titles for our creator. Example, here, when they're using the capital letters Lord or God, this is actually how many times that they're using these words by this concordance. But they've kind of lied to you, because even though they've replaced our creator's name 6,825 times for 2 titles, so now people think our creator's name is God, and you just got to learn that you've been fooled and deceived for too long. And you've seen in the intro why I say the 2 letters YV as our creator. But here they've also added that the capital letters Lord means this here Hebrew name. Now this Hebrew name here, I can prove is Jesus, is the name that this is the name they gave Jesus. But they are saying this is used as God and Lord 48 more times. But when you read their intro to their books, it'll just say that they've only replaced it for these 4 letters. Now, saying that, when it comes down to like another title, I put the Hebrew name next to them, and this is a reference to start with for everybody that is using my books or my videos, to help them find these words and understand how they distorted even these titles. Because if they have already titles for Lord and God, why replace his name? Okay. So I don't know how long I'm going to go with this video, but I've been having trouble. So sometimes I look over and I've been kicked off. So what I'm hoping here is I've got everything straightened out that I can get a 3 to 4 hour stream in here. So if I mess up, I'm going to have chapter or part 2, part 3 in the next couple days. So I hope to just kind of figure out about where I was at and then start the next video at that place. So, and it's not word. If you look right off the bat, it says the word of the YV. Now this would have been the Lord. So we can get rid of this word, and it's actually from YV. Okay, see how beautiful that becomes, the text that just says the more truthful. And it's not a word that he spoke. It is words he spoke. And I honor and respect our Creator by making all his words or his possession or his prophecies all capital letters. And that way, when you see the text on the right-hand side, you immediately know what our Creator's words are. Red will be Jesus, green will be angels. Okay. So I can start this one out by saying words from YV. And it's not the word which, don't need that. Came to Micah. Of whatever, and I don't need this. In the days of Jotham. Okay, yeah, here's the 3 kings. Yeah, here's the 3 kings. I just didn't, I skipped over reading these. But I already done the king's line, so I know that I've got to go find the map here again. And then actually put in the correct king's names here. See, and it's going to be Azar and Jotham. So let me stick this over to the side right now. Oh, that is the right king here. And that is the right king. Let me see here. Get that back up to 90, which is odd to me that that is correct. Okay. Azar. Oh, Azar. So I got, yes, that one's got to be changed. How is this spelled? Azar. Azar is the correct king's name. In the days, it could be, I like using the word for. In the days for, and I also do use the word of, so I guess I can leave it this way because I'll keep editing this text as I keep combining the books together. I'll try to make sure I am consistent in all the text that I'm using. In the days of Jotham and Hezekiah, and this will be our kings. And here, since I'm adding a word, I need to use, I note it as this color here, red, and make the text italic. This is when I'm changing one word to be the correct word here on a king's name, something like that. I'm just saying I'm replacing a name and using it this way. But you can see, like here, the word of, I'm changing it to from, because these aren't very important words. And you already noticed that I'm making these 8-point texts that I'm saying I'm getting rid of those texts, or that text. Our kings, and these are good kings, so I capitalized the kings. And it's for Judah, not of Judah. To say that they aren't using correct English is really downplaying what the corruption that they put into the text. Now, Judah is a kingdom, so what I try to do on that, so you know who's who when you're reading the text, I try to make it all caps, and oops, I forgot to make it bold. I think that's how I'm noting it. I will change that later, but that way every time you see this noted, you know it's talking about the kingdom of Judah, okay? And other than the man's name or his descendants, or the male's name or descendants. And what I've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 verses that seem to be connected together. Now, if these are words from YV, this is saying it's a vision, okay, which he saw. I don't need this word here. If I say he saw concerning, now Samaria, let me see if I've got that map here. And what I'm trying to do is, okay, it's here. I'll do 175. Okay. Now, Samaria is really truthfully right here in the map location for the tribes. And this is the second, what would I say, capital city. when Saul was king or made king by our Creator through Samuel, he had Bethel. This is where Bethel is at. This is the first. And actually, it would have been like Jerusalem, okay? But Shiloh was here. This is where the tent for meeting was, or not was. This is the town for the priests to live in. The people that were traveling could live in an inn. There's probably a market, some exchanging, and other things like that. But the house for the tent for our Creator would have been somewhere around it, probably within a half mile, as walking distance for the priest, because you know that when they're burning meat, that is kind of a strong, stenchy smell. So you wouldn't want to affect the town if the wind blew that way. So it might be a mile away. But the object is that later, David came along, and Hebron was going to be his capital. And then what happened is when he moved the tent from Shiloh, it stopped here, and Jerusalem was created. Okay, the city of Jerusalem. But the kings for Israel here, when Solomon didn't act against our Creator, he didn't like it. And that was, I think, not by what you know of the text, because Solomon didn't have 600, what do they call them? I'll just call them prostitutes. But the object is our Creator told them that of the commandments, they cannot commit adultery. His law is one male and one female joined together become one. And nobody is supposed to interfere with that. And going away from that, outside that, is called adultery. You would not have a king who is supposed to be, he's the example, but that's the text they put in to corrupt the text, so you don't know the truth or not. But what happened was, I think he went and offered somewhere to his second wife. She had like a goddess or something, and he went there, and maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's what's in the text that I took out. But anyways, he did something wrong. And our Creator had a prophet sent when his son Rehoboam became king, that he was going to divide the kingdom back into two different ones. That's you might think it's the first time that the group of 10 brothers got together and made a nation. Well, they weren't really a nation, but they had separated themselves from these two. We don't have that Simon down here, by the way, in Judah. That happened before David's time, and Saul was trying to start to put him back together, but we don't have that text why they were separated from each other. But at Rehoboam's time, he came up to Shechem here, and what happened there was that they were complaining about the work, and then what happened is they gathered themselves together and made one of Solomon's other sons their king. His name was Jeroboam, and he reestablished Bethlehem as a place for them to sacrifice onto a foreign god, and he was worried about the people coming down and going back and joining with Israel or Judah as being the kingdom that Jeroboam or Rehoboam still has. In the later years, and this is all leading up to why this Samaria is the second city here, capital city, is because there was a war between the next, I think the king was Asa, with Jeroboam. And he pretty much, our Creator defeated him there. And one of the other kings came up here and he bought a hill. That's how it starts. And then later, this location becomes his city. It's known as Samaria. I think everything that you would search on the internet would say that that's Jezreel, but that's wrong. Because at a certain time, the king over here went to battle to keep the people from Damascus, and they were probably Armenians or Amens, what they would have been called. That would have been how they called themselves. And then they were trying to battle. They were trying to take this land here. And what happened was the king went back here into his place to live, but the prophet Isaiah, I believe, or not Isaiah, Elijah, the second one of the two, he had his attendant anoint Jehu as king. And he was over here resting, and they were gathered together to discuss how they're going to battle. And what happens is the story is talking about that the king, the guard that's on the fort at the gate, they had guards that had like a stand at the top. And he says that I see riders coming, and it looks like Jehu, the writing of Jehu. And that message is sent to the king, and the king sends a guy to go out and talk to Jehu to find out how the war is going and return to him. And when you figure that this time that from the seeing of him that sends him out, and then all of a sudden the guard reports again, the riders met him, but he's not coming back. Now, that means that guy has to see a lot of distance. What this is a hill, okay, along here. There's a hill ridge along here. And because this is the river, it tells me that the road that they came here wasn't through this way. It was from here. So he would have started seeing this rider come here from a distance, okay? And this, if you look over here, you can see this is going to be about a 10-mile back and forth. So if they're not coming very fast, you can see that this is how it's going to happen. That's how it tells me that this is Samaria, okay? Now, saying all that, it's just for you to understand the knowledge that I have, and to understand when I'm doing these, why I will be getting rid of the word Samaria. And that's because, let me get back to the timeline here on the kings. And what we have here, okay, see this here, when this is Israel, by the way, on this side, and these kings would have been up in Samaria, and this king was actually lost all this land to all these tribes' land to Assyria. So when it's talking about from here to here, so I can't really get rid of the word Samaria, because that means this is the time that he would have been, is to prove that it was at this time that he was tied to this guy, okay, for the years for Micah. He saw concerning Samaria, and Jerusalem. Now, this he saw has to be a large capital letters because it's our Creator, and concerning would be the words, what he was told, the prophecy coming from his vision. And now it's going to start with here's what he's going to be saying. So what that tells me is this is going to be definitely a split on the text, that this is a group of text. So if this is what he's saying, listen. And if I find out the text is not about, and I can see right now that there's nothing of like a vision, which is a story which has like an angel interpreting, or an object is shown to him to mean certain things. That is the vision. When words from YV, they can come to him speaking to him from the air or in his head, is getting the message from our Creator. So if I seen this and say, how can I cut this? Words from YV came to Micah in the days of Jotham, Azar, and Hezek, are kings for Judah. Now, when he says these three words, Samaria is not here. Okay? Even though the text is going to be maybe talked about of Israel. So this would be concerning, actually, it would be concerning Israel and Judah, as what I have like this here. Now, he saw concerning. I don't think I can use this word to be truthful. Words from YV concerning Samaria and Jerusalem. See, now this is telling me that I need to stick this back over here. And what I really try to do in this format that you see on the right-hand side is I try to use one word and a second major word and all the other little words that I need to connect them. See how I've got came and Micah, days, and Jotham, and then the two kings' names in the king's name. So those are the most important words. So here I've got three important words. Okay. So what this tells me is that most of the time I need to get rid of one of these words. There are examples that I can't get rid of a word. So I will have three words sometimes. So I'm going to leave the three words here right now. But what it's telling me is that I could almost divide it by 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and have a 3-verse format. The formats that you're seeing on the right-hand side are a 4-verse and a 3-verse. Now, the 3-verse, I want to point out, is that this first line is a statement. And then these to connect together to make another, or tells me what's going on in here, okay? So, could this mean this is all added text? Well, this could be added for the simple fact that how should I say this? As a combination, as the story is going to start, we're going to start with this king, which you know is out of order. Okay, let me show you that again. And when I come down here, you can see Jotham and Hezekiah. Okay, and now this king is out of order, although he was 52 years. But look at how many years we have here, 40 years and 35 years. These are very accurate numbers. In these lines and marks, these are in relationship to that time of 52 years. If this is 52 years, these two things happen right around at that time. Okay, not that this is, because you can see I got 40 years is almost 52 years, but that isn't what it's doing, because you can see I got 39 here. Okay, it's the relationship of these kings. These events happened to these kings here on this side. So now I've got a problem. And that is it true that he's not the prophet at this time? So what I have to do then is I got to note this, and I'm going to note it as a yellow text, because it could mean that it's just in the days of Jotham. Okay. Words from YV came to Micah in the days, and now I would say for Jotham, because he was talking to him in those days, and these were, it would have been his days, but it's the days of Micah is what the text is going to do, because if he's on 2 kings, then it's not just of this king here. In the days for him, now the words are being used correctly of the story down here is going to be talking to this king. Okay, so it takes a lot of explaining to get to these answers. And what just happened here? Okay, I'm going to have to post this up, because this is just not, streaming is just not possible for me. I just don't get this. I've been streaming for 2 months, 3 months now, and now it's every time I'm getting kicked off within what would I say, within a half hour here. So let me check something, because when I called on my internet surface, I was having a problem with that. So where is my bookmarks for this? Because I use like 4 different browsers here. So okay, let me do this. I'm just checking my download speed. Sorry about that, but it's just got to be done. But I can shut off the chat here. See, right now I should not have any problems with that. And that's bad. That's bad news, because why am I getting kicked off? Let me blow this one up. Let me dismiss this. What does it say? It just kicks me off. Now I can stream on Twitch for hours. I can stream on Kick for hours. But YouTube, no, they don't allow me to do that. Okay, so I have to post these, but that means I've got to make them only maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, because the downside. Anyways, okay, now you understand what's going on with the kings and whether some of this might not be true, and he was only a prophet during this time because he's around for 40 years. So, which means in his older days, he would have been into this king here. And it would have been concerning Jerusalem here, if that's what's in the text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that as yellow and come back to that. And now I'm having, like, does this actually exist in the text, even though I can make it a 3-verse? Hear, peoples, all of you. Hear, peoples. This peoples would mean races most of the time. And okay, now this, listen, earth, and all it contains. Okay, now we know that that is not how our Creator speaks. He's talking to certain people. So let me go through here and see what's true and what's not here. It would be our Lord, YV, our Lord, and then I would use it this way as YV is a witness against you. So this would mean that he's speaking to those in Samaria. Okay. And there is no such thing as a holy temple. The thing here is when our Creator's presence is in the house for meeting with him, we know that that's the, how should I say it? That's when everything would be special at that, most special at that time. Now you have to understand that a temple is where you place a pagan idol, okay? So, against you, the Lord from his holy temple. No, because if he spake to our Micah, this is all wrong, okay? Hear and listen. And I'm going to put to me, making it first person. Now, if this holds true, this verse here, okay, I can't do that. I can see that the text is wanting to tell me, hear and listen. Our Lord YV, that be is a witness against you. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, what I've got to do here is keep going here. I guess I could shut that stuff off. Let me expand it. Yeah, I can shut that off. because it's not it didn't reconnect, and I was hoping it would. Okay, now, YV is coming forth, behold, coming forth from his place. Well, this writer doesn't understand that our Creator is everywhere. Okay, maybe you don't know that. When you look at the beginning text, we have our Creator hovering in his emptiness. So this is what we know as everything that we know about cosmology. It all come from him. It's in his existence, okay? But in the beginning, he separated himself from his emptiness and created heaven, another dimension, time and space, then sent himself, parts of himself, because he had to get the parts from somewhere, it would have been parts of himself, back into this universe as we know it. And it wasn't a big bang, it was a spewing of faster and slower pieces to create time, and all the expanses were then collapsed into galaxies. But everything is his. So this from his place, this would be like how they would talk about a false god. So got to get rid of that. He will come down and tread the high places of the earth. Well, we know that that's not true. Well, mountains will melt under him, and valleys will be split like wax before a fire, like water poured down from. I'd correct that, but the only thing is this is just junk. We know that our Creator doesn't do any of this, or you shouldn't believe any of this. This is what I call oversalted words, okay? That's just too far-fetched from those who knew our Creator existed and is the creator of everything. So a rebellion of Jacob, and for the sins of the... okay, I got to correct smaller words here. This would be tribes, and this has to be for. And this, because it is what I was telling you of the nation Israel, this has to be all small caps, and I make it bold. And that, you can see, is how I represent evil is Israel, because they were onto other gods, sun god Ra and his daughter, the moon goddess. Okay, and so that's how I represent the nation Israel. So this, I can say, is that way. It's like this. This is, they're not housed, it's the tribes. So I have to go like that to keep the two words in line. Behold, YV is coming forth. Now, when I go over here, because I want to show you this, what happens is when these words like coming forth, And I've got to find them here. This is verse 3, so it's in 2. No, it's in 3. Coming forth. Notice how it has two Hebrew words being used. And they use any two words, and it would be coming forth, as you can see over here. So down here, when you see like this one here, bring out, they use 54 times. Bring forth, only 14 times. Okay. I could use the word bringing instead of coming. Or I can use the word sending out. See how they use the word brought here? Okay. So when I change these words here, coming forth, because he's going to be a witness against you. Behold, YV is sending forth. Okay, I can use the word sending. And this means, because I know it's going to be Assyria, that the text is going to be having to talk about Assyria coming to take them. So I don't need the word behold. Behold, YV is sending forth. Now, this is telling me that there is text missing here, okay? Because right now I've got a 3-verse and a 3-verse, and it looks like this is going to be a 3-verse. Because this doubling up of rebellion means the starting acts of your wickedness of not obeying our Creator. That's how I'm going to use the word rebellion in all the text. So when you read it, that's the understanding of the definition of rebellion. But they are going, they're starting, or they've been, since Jeroboam's time, leading away the people onto another god and goddess. So that would be for the evilness and not rebellion. So to for all the evilness and sins. Because Jacob is a man or a male. So this word is just being used here as the tribes, the descendants, evilness of the descendants in the tribes of Israel. Evilness and sins. This would be by, oh, wait a second, I got to put that before. So by the tribes of Israel. Okay. So if I do that, and I just read, I see Samaria here as well. So let's see. Behold, YV is sending forth. Usually it's talking about an army from the north. So, and then you can see for, okay, if I get rid of that, and that. A witness against you. Now, I can see that I'm missing the text, what he's going to send forth, which is obvious. So, where am I supposed to add it? Because this has to be for the evilness and sins by the tribes for Israel. Now, why is this talking about sins? You have to understand that the 12 commandments that you've seen at the intro, that this is, or what, these are, the commandments are an agreement that our Creator made with his nation that he brought out of Egypt. And that is his agreement with him. And they agreed with him that if they always obey the commandments, they will always possess the land. He will bless them. That's the understanding of the word bless. It means you can't bless anybody. You can't bless the Creator. That word is only from our Creator to those who are obedient to our Creator. So that was the agreement. So this is going to say, is sending, you know what? If I just add the word you, I say send in you, and not the word forth, but out, like cast out. And that was the agreement that our Creator made with them, that he would send them out. Okay? Is sending you out for the evilness and the sins by the tribes for Israel. Now that this is being said, and this is what makes this text why it's hard to get the correct order of things. This means it was for this king that he was here, in the days of this king, not Jotham, in the days of this king, okay? Because he is speaking to Samaria. So let me see where Ezra, because I know this name is a king on the other side, but he's way back. He's by Ahab, I believe. So, see, this is the king here. Yeah, he's after Ahab. So the thing here is, and I've got this king's name, and that is too far away to be saying he's going to be sending them away. So this is kind of what boggles my little mind. I think you've seen enough of that over here, of the text that I've combining together. Let me put up the old text. Now, this here, as far as timeline, if this would make him a prophet in this, on this side for Judah, which is not right. Because I'm aiming it for the other side. So this, see, it'll make Samaria, which means it's the city, a heap of ruins. Okay, so it'll be yes. And now this part can't be true because that's like 100 years later, 150 years later, after Babylon or Syria comes down. So this, he wouldn't be speaking that far out in this. But if it's concerning Samara, he could be here. Okay. Now, if I do this, well, that's because I read the text that's talking about Jerusalem, but it's not going to be. So now I've got this cleaned up. I got to have that here. And it can't be this king here. Yeah, it's confusing. I'm just trying to find how I'm to correct this. Because this time is when he loses it, it's already this is the 28 years is represented right to here. So I changed colors because they didn't have a capital city. So, and it really wasn't as it's known as a kingdom for or a nation of Israel anymore. So, is it really Pekah that he's here? The days of Jotham. If I do Pekah, let me see if I know I don't have that spelled right. H. If I do that, and I just need to make both these yellow like I'm working on it. And that would mean but if he's on Israel's side and he's talking about concerning the other side, why would that? Are there no prophets coming to Israel? That's the thing. If there's no prophets coming to Israel, because I've got to change my thinking here, that if there's no prophets, but this is a good king. Anything that's a capital letter is a good king. So I'm thinking that there's these, this is only, no, I know there's going to be a prophet that I know about that's got a story relating here, and that's talking to the people of Ezekiel, I believe, Naphtaliah. But maybe it is in the days of Jotham to Pekah. And this would be concerning, so it would be this is what I've got to get rid of. And if I put his name here. Okay. To put the correct order. Then this king has to come down here to here. And then it would be where I'm getting this name to move to this name. And this guy's name is now being the correct king in the right order. But this is like added notes. Because see what I'm doing is if I get rid of this, I make this a 4-verse group from here to here. Or concerning Samara, our Lord YV is a witness against you. Oh, let me see here. To get the pieces right, I think I need to see more of this together. Words from YV came to Micah in the days of Azar. Concerning Samara, which would be the capital city. And doesn't need this verse here. And then if that's the statement on a 3-verse, concerning Samara, our Lord YV is a witness against you. Behold, YV is sending you out for your evilness and sin. So if I make that a period, make that a comma, this a period, then that means I've got to do this. And then that makes it, and then I'm just getting rid of this text. And I'm going to put this as 8 point. And okay, now this is starting to, I believe, now we have Micah as a prophet on the Judah side, and he's prophesying concerning Samara, the capital. Behold, YV is sending you out. And this almost like I need to put in Israel here. Unless the story is going to go on. Like, I'm going to just leave it like that right now because I haven't got the text all cleaned up. Let's see. This I've already got, so I don't need this. Okay. It's just being double text. What is the high place? Now, high places are where they would put their idols of their gods and goddesses. In meaning high places, meaning like at the top of the hill, they thought it was closer to the heaven that way. So, what it has to be related. Okay, let me explain something here. If this is a paragraph and this is a paragraph, these two would hook together, and now I'm got this would be like whatever this is connected has to connect to here. So I have to relate it to why he's sending them out, evilness and sin. So here, if I've got to combine this, for the tribes of Israel, for the tribes of Israel, what is the, because I don't try, I know they don't double speak. If I have rebellion in one and rebellion in another, and I know it's evilness, I still can't use evilness twice or rebellion twice. So but if I've got it wrong here and it's down here is where this at, then this verse here will connect with this verse. And I need the word all, and I need Israel. Sending you out, everyone for Israel. What is the, why is their evilness? Because if I put this here, and I'm going to put it here, and that is why our Creator sent me and not you to do this. I'm sorry, but it's just that I know you guys wouldn't know how to correct this text. Excuse me. This one is, you would be able to do a lot more, but the text here right off the start, he's got witness against you. So this is the witnessing, these two verses or two paragraphs. Behold, YB is sending you out. And I'm getting rid of this word. And what do I want to do here? I want to use word all. But I gotta put this down here, yeah. Is sending out the tribes for Israel. Okay, I can use that. I don't know what was so difficult about that. Sometimes my little tiny mind gets locked up here. Behold, YV is sending you out is casting you out. He's going to cast you out. YV is casting you out. Not the house, not tribes, but here I need every one could use the descendants in Israel, but I think I'm going to stick with this word here. And I'm going to make it my word here that I've had to add. Everyone in Israel. What is, it would be their evilness. And now when I'm speaking like this, okay, now we have him in Judah speaking to the king in Syria or in Israel. And I can leave Samaria here. And here I could use the, oh boy, this, if I use kings, I get rid of this. I get rid of this, this, and go up here. To the, to your, no, to the kings in, whoops, kings in. Now, that's better. I'm just going to bring this text. Yeah, it's just so you can see what I'm. Okay, in the days of Azar, to the kings in Samaria, our Lord YV is witness against you. Yes. Finally, it makes sense. Behold, YV is casting you out. And everyone in Israel. No, this has to be like this. And the word here needs to be will. Behold, YV will cast you out. And everyone in Israel. What is their evilness? It's not is, it's does not. This has to become from our creator, but I got added. Does not Samara this is not connecting. Does not Samara have high places? I gotta add that. And then this would be a comma. This is going to be added. But you have to understand what high places are. They would know. When they wrote it, they would know. And I have to tell you what they are so you know what they are. Okay, now that looks pretty good. So, and I've got to get all this text to be able to fall into the layout of the screen that I got. So, you see if I can do it with 5. Nope. Let me see if I have to do this with 4. I haven't done one of these in so long like this, so let me put 4 here. Now it falls within the screen. Okay. Sorry about that. I just needed to make sure that you're seeing and I am seeing as well. In fact, I get to blow it up a little bit more now, but all the text is not falling off the page. Okay, now I guess I can bring it up a little bit more. Try to center it for you. Okay. High places. And it's going to be said by our creator, so it's going to be he as and I don't need this. He will make Samara a heap of ruins. A heap. This is the heap is not correct. If I go here, and I know this is not really going to help me, but just to show you the heap, it's these 2 words, single words, letters I, means they're tying it together as heap of ruins. But I know our creator also calls it a desolate ruins. Ruins is meaning that it's going to be destroyed, burnt, and the people are not going to be living there. But it's not going to be a heap of ruins. It's going to be a desolate. Oh, how do I want to say this? Hey, I read down and I see it right here. That's what I want to use for up here. And I don't need this word now. Will be desolate ruins. No, if it's just Samara, it's 1. I need that, but I don't need the S here. A desolate ruin. This has to be a comma. This has got to be a period. A desolate ruin. In the open land, not country. Land. And I use a capital letter to mean it's promised land. So that's needed to be there, but it's not a country. It's, I would say like a hillside, but an open, a desolate ruin in the open land. Okay. And this I don't need. This I'm changing. Pour her stones down into the valley and lay her foundation. No, don't need any of that. It's already been said that it's going to make a desolate ruin in an open land. And that's, although if I'm making that, this one and this one connect, then I do have to find a verse that's got a hook to this. All of her idols. See, this is what I'm talking about when this is the female goddess idols, by the way. And that's what I'm saying is these high places. And I'm going to have a high place, and then get rid of this. It should have been green anyways. Have a high place. I might need to change the high place to something for people to understand what it means. But that is going to become later. But they had pillars that they would set these idols up on, and they would have like an altar to sacrifice their animal, and then they would roast the animal and eat it, and make cakes and stuff like to her. And let me, because I know that you're saying, well, where am I coming up with all this? This is Malachi 2:11, and this is talking about when Judah is going to fall, that they married the daughter of a foreign god. So this is the female goddess that I keep saying, and the foreign god is Ra, the sun god. Okay? And to marry them, or to marry her, they're going to sit in darkness or meditate at a certain time on a moon month for this daughter tied to the moon goddess. And then what over here in Jeremiah, he's calling her the Queen of Heaven. And what you see in this text here is all the things that they would do, and every one of them were doing it. Their forefathers, kings, and these are going to be priests because they're all corrupt. So this is the knowledge I'm using So I'm just filling you in on what they do. But have I, this is like high pillars, or goddess pillars. Does not Samara have goddess pillars? Okay. Anyways, um, open land and her idols will be smashed. And now this, I gotta figure out. I gotta, he will make Samara a desolate ruin in an open land, and her idols will be smashed and burned with fire. I hate to do this, but to make you desolate. Now this don't need, but I think I have the second group of words here. Because this I must laminate and oil. I must go barefoot and naked, like jackals. And this is just not true. Her wound will be incurable. It has come to Judah, has reached the gates of my people, even to Jerusalem. I can't say that that's like adding text for the reason they put up in here. Where was it? Concerning Judah and Jerusalem, Samaria and Jerusalem. So when that's taken out, I can't use that Jerusalem. And it's keeping it to the Israeli side. This, if they're making a desolate room and you're done, you're dead. Now, in shameful nakedness, this is what the captives would be. Go into captivity. inhabitant of Zoan does not escape the lamentation. He'll take up a support for you. Now, I'm thinking that where is the words of them going into captivity? He's going to cast them out. So cast them out. Okay. That's captivity. It's coming down to the to the gates of Jerusalem. This is not, can't have it Jerusalem. And I was just thinking that, could I make that text that I'm throwing out right now? And I'm thinking people are going to say, well, it would be a piece from another to go to another story. That's true. If I could have a complete 2 small paragraph groupings, and I'm not seeing that in this text, of why they're in Jerusalem. So it's just that I've got to make that call, and just calling that not any good. And Lachish is in the Judah side. No. Well, it's a city. It's in Israel side. So, yeah, let me do a quick check to make sure. So if I start seeing text, Lachish. Okay, it's not in that map. But let's see. I think this is Lachish. So that would put that in. This is all this, what I'm seeing here. Harnessed chariots, teams of horses. Look, they had hills. The chariots only be going on the roads, because when you start going into open fields, they would be wheat fields or barley fields and stuff like that, or vegetable fields. And there wouldn't be enough of them for them to, in other words, the chariots, no. In Egypt, yes, there was a lot of open desert, so there would have been those there. But chariots in Egypt, the most prominent king or the commander would have that available to him, but his horse would be following behind him when he's going into battle. But for traveling, he would have been comfortably in a chariot than riding on a horse. Or, yeah, riding on a horse. And I'm going to get rid of this text. And this, we know that if they already have that, you'd have to know all the stories I know about the other kings. Example, Jeroboam went to Damascus, had that altar copied, and followed their gods that came from Egypt, come down and put it in Bethel, and then their priests, he made their own priests down there to be on them. Now that was at Rehoboam's time, right after Solomon. So this side, Israel has been corrupt a long time in playing that. So this stuff, because of the deception of the kings of Israel, that's they kept it up, but some of them became good kings. So it would have to be more specific of the story. or I'll bring you, take possession. Oh, no, this isn't true. For the simple fact that he's already made him desolate. Okay, he's not going to go over all these things. So what I'm going to do is a cleanup here on this one, and show you what is the format. Okay, something happened. So let me see if it works the second time here. Yep, it did. Now let me run this one. Okay, now and I guess I'm going to use that as a reference. And now I don't need this. This, I forgot to mention, are words that were added. Fuchsia color words are added, but I'm going to make it my word. Were added in 1977, and I know I'll mention it later in this because there's a spot that has a whole lot of added text, and it just shows that they're still adding stuff to make it their text and not keep getting rid of words from the first writers' formats. And now you can see what I have done here. Okay. That is words from YV came to Micah in the days of Azar, or Azar, either way, to the kings in Samaria. Our Lord YV is a witness against you. Against you. Behold, YV will cast you out, and everyone in Israel. What is not there your? What is your evilness? So I gotta. Guess I got. Whoops, that was the right. It was that key. Now I can use that key. Yeah. Whoops. We used the wrong macro there too. So what is your evilness? Now I can clean this up. What is your evilness? Does not Samaria have a high place? For he will make Samaria a desolate ruin. And I'm going to put the S again, that they had them all over the city. But this is kind of an odd way of a prophecy that he talks about, because usually all this text would be in the capital letters. Like this one here. This, 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 this. Because this is the prophecy, what's going to happen. Be burned with fire. their idols were made of certain tree stumps or tree roots, by the way. So let me see here. Is there any other text? But right now that's going to be, oops, got to clean this up. Okay, that is what I'm going to cut this video at. And I guess I've got to make videos and put them up instead of streaming. I'm really disappointed. Maybe I better just go back to Twitch and keep streaming and then post these on YouTube. Maybe that's what I'll do. That's what I'm going to do. Go back on Twitch and kick. Let's see how that works. But anyway, that's my problem, and I'm going to call this an end for this video right now. So what am I going to name it here? And I have to put part 1 after that. Okay, I want that. Anyways, I will see you on the next video.